Welcome to Valerie Creates It, where we are working together to make some online income. I've uploaded nearly 1,100 Amazon influencer videos in about 8 months, and I need to say something that may not sound like the usual online income sales pitch. Now, I made money. I proved it can work. And I still have to admit that I was doing parts of it the hard way. That's not the shiny version of the story, but that is the useful version. Because if you've been looking at the Amazon Influencer Program thinking, maybe this could be a good way to make extra income, well, I think it can be. I've averaged about $1,000 a month with it, and that's real money. That's money that can help pay bills. That can help fund travel. That can give you breathing room. But I also want to be real with you. That money did not float into my life because I uploaded 3 videos, smiled at a tripod, and Amazon started throwing commissions at me. I worked. I worked for that money. I filmed. I uploaded. I requested samples. I followed up with the brands. I learned as I went. And over the course of time, I made some decent choices. I also made some bad guesses. And after nearly 1,100 videos, I can tell you this. I would still start with volume, but I would use better product selection from the very beginning. That's the part I wish I'd understood sooner. Because volume helps. Absolutely it helps. But volume doesn't fix everything. If you film a lot of the wrong products, you don't have a strategy. You have a busy hobby with a shipping problem. And I say that as someone who's still building this, who's still adding to my storefront, and who still thinks Amazon Influencer is one of the simpler ways I've found to make extra online income. But simple does not mean effortless. And the internet has done a fine job of confusing those two. So if you want the real version of Amazon Influencer, not the make money while you sleep with no work version, go ahead and like this video and subscribe, because I'm building Valerie Creates It around real estate income, Amazon Influencer, affiliate strategy, Pinterest, AI tools, digital products, and the real life systems that actually have a chance of working. Not out of fairy dust, no guru fog machine, just the real version. Now let me tell you how this started. I began uploading Amazon Influencer videos in September of 2025. I didn't start because I was sure it would work. I started because other people said it worked, that I knew, and I wanted to test it for myself. And that's how I am with most things. You can tell me something works all day long, but at some point I need to put my own hands on it and see if it holds up. And Amazon Influencer, it has held up. Not perfectly, not magically, but enough to keep going. Now, my first 100 videos were mostly products that I already owned. And I still think that's the very best way for a beginner to start once you're approved into the online program. There's another video about that you'll have to listen to if you haven't got approved yet. But, you don't need to order a bunch of random stuff. You don't need to turn your house into a clearance aisle. You start with what you already have. Walk around your house and look for things that people actually shop for. Things like your pet products, your cleaning tools, your vacuum cleaner, things like that, kitchen items, office items, travel items, your household products, your beauty products, things you understand, things that you can explain without sounding like you copied the product listing and sprinkled a little enthusiasm on it. If you own it, you use it, and can talk about it honestly, that's a great place to start. And those first 100 or so videos, almost everything else I filmed, came from brand samples. And I'm grateful for that. Brand samples help me scale. They're still helping me scale. They gave me more products to film without constantly buying things myself, because, you know, who can afford that? That part sounds fun, and it really can be. You know, boxes show up, you get new products, you get to test things. You know, it feels like progress. And it is. Until the boxes keep showing up. And then suddenly your easy side income has turned into inventory management with better lighting. Now you've got products to track, products to film, products you've already filmed but you haven't uploaded, products waiting on, oh, my dog, sorry. Products waiting on descriptions, products you need to follow up on, products you forgot were part of a campaign, a creator connections campaign, products sitting in a corner silently judging your life choices. Yeah, that was one of the first reality checks I had. I thought filming would be the big job. And filming is work. And that's the thing that scares people sometimes, but filming isn't the whole job. Some weeks I spend more time finding products, requesting samples, following up with brands, keeping samples straight, uploading videos, organizing what came in, writing titles and descriptions, and doing the computer work than I spend actually filming. And that surprised me. You know, everybody talks about making the videos and how to feel comfortable on camera and, you know, all that. Not enough people talk about the product hunt, the admin work, and the uploading treadmill you get on. And that's one reason I use Viral Vue. I'll put my link in the description. And if you use my link, you can get 10% off of your subscription. Now, Viral Vue helps me keep my samples straight. It helps me find products, good products. It helps me track what I have coming in. It helps me stay organized instead of trying to manage everything from memory, screenshots, sticky notes, and whatever scrap of paper I wrote on while thinking, oh, I'll remember this. No, ma'am, I will not remember this. I know myself better than that. And you probably know yourself better than that too. But Viral Vue helps streamline the process so the whole thing feels less scattered. And when you start getting samples from brands, scattered can happen really fast. One day I'll show you my samples. So yes, we're gonna do a Viral Vue walkthrough in a future video, and we may do several because it does a lot. It's impressive. I want to show you how I use it for samples, product research, creator connections, organization, and building this in a way that doesn't make your brain feel like a junk drawer with Wi-Fi. But for today, just know this. At some point, Amazon Influencer stops being film a few products, and it becomes a process. And if you don't have a way to manage the process is going to manage you. That's where I started to realize something. That I wasn't just building a storefront. I was building a system. Because without a system, this all gets messy really fast. And I already have plenty of messy. I have businesses. I have a dog training business. My husband has a travel business. I have content to create. I live in a camper. I want a house. I have a husband. We have a relationship. I have all these Amazon samples. I have ideas in my head running loose like somebody left the gate open. I don't need another pile of chaos with a commission report attached. So now I'm looking at this differently. In the beginning, I was thinking, make more videos. Now I'm thinking, make better decisions before I ever hit record. That's the shift. And that brings me to product selection. This is where I had to get honest with myself. I wasn't great at product selection in the beginning. And frankly, I could still be better at that. I could be much better at that. Some products I thought would do well, and they didn't do so much. kids' products and clothes, for example, were not what I expected for me. That doesn't mean nobody can do well with those categories. It just means they weren't my best lane. They might be your best lane. Pet products, on the other hand, that's been some of my favorites to review. And that makes sense because pets are part of my real life. Dogs are part of my real business. I can talk about those products from experience instead of pretending I suddenly became passionate about a random toddler cup at 10:43 on a Tuesday. But the bigger lesson is not just pet products are good. The bigger lesson is that problem-solving products deserve more respect. And that's where I'd focus harder now. Products that solve an actual problem. So if you've got a product that helps with pet mess, that helps when you travel with your pet, that helps with general cleaning problems, that helps with organizational issues, that helps with any kind of household annoyances, content creation problems, general travel problems, things people are actively shopping for because something in their life is irritating them. That's buyer intent. And buyer intent beats "this looks nice" more often than people want to admit. A product can be beautiful and still do absolutely nothing for you. It can sit there looking lovely and earning nothing, which is really rude after all the trouble. So now I ask better questions before I spend time on a product. Does this product solve a real problem? Is there sales volume? Is it selling? Are there already a lot of influencer videos? Is there room for another helpful one? Is there a creator connection campaign? Can I say something useful? Can I show it clearly? Would someone actually be shopping for this because they need help? Or am I just impressed because the packaging had a good hair day? That's a different way of thinking. And I wish I'd used that filter sooner, because after nearly 1,100 videos, I don't want to keep adding videos just to say I added videos. I want videos that have a better chance of earning me money. I want videos that support a smarter system. And that's, again, part of where Viral Vue comes in. It helps tremendously. I want effort that's not just busy, but pointed in the right direction. That's the grown-up part of this business. And it's not always the fun part. Now, here's another thing that complicates everything. Back in March, April, Amazon took away a lot of the reporting we used to have. So it's harder to know right away what's working. You can still look at longer reports and monthly information and figure some things out. You can notice patterns that way, but it's not always instant. It's not always obvious. And if you're the kind of person who likes clear feedback, that can make you want to stare at the screen like it personally betrayed you. Because when you're trying to improve, you want the map. You want to know which videos worked, which product earned you money, which category is worth more of your valuable time. And sometimes Amazon gives you less of that information than you'd like. That means I can't build my whole strategy around perfect feedback. I have to make better decisions up front, better product selection, better systems, better tools, better offsite strategy, less guessing, and more intention. And that's where I am now. Now, let's talk about the videos themselves, because I know people love to overcomplicate this part. For me, horizontal videos work best for Amazon Influencer. And I know Amazon may say vertical is better, but my experience has been different. Amazon shoppable videos are not TikToks with a shopping cart slapped on them. People are on a product page already. They're already shopping. They already have intent. They're trying to decide if this thing they're looking at solves their problem. They want to see the product. They want to understand it. They want clarity. That's why they're watching your video. They're not there for a dramatic short form performance and jump cuts and chaos. So I keep my on-site videos simple. Good lighting, clear audio. I try to keep the background noise out of there. Product very visible. I try to keep the background very clean. I try not to edit at all, but definitely no over editing. No nonsense, straight to the point. You do have to be careful what you say and what you show. Supplements, for instance, can be tricky. Safety products sometimes can be tricky. Medical claims are an absolute no-no. If it's safety related, if you're biking, bike helmet, swim vest, if you're in the water, you need to use your head on these. Don't show any barcodes. Don't show any QR codes. Don't show any addresses, even on an envelope way behind you. Don't show any private information, no street signs, nothing like that. Don't have a pile of unrelated products in the background, kind of like I do right now. And if a brand sends you the product, you need to disclose that. I usually say something like, the brand sent this to me. Simple. Clear. Done. It meets the requirements. The brand sent this to me. You can also say thank you to the brand or whatever. This is not the place to get fancy and mysterious, though. People need to understand the relationship. They need to understand the product. And they need to trust that you're being straight with them. Now, I used to wing it more. I turn on the camera and I just talk. And sometimes that worked. And sometimes it wandered off into the bushes. So now I do prepare more. I don't always do a full script, but I usually have some bullet points, and I want to know what I'm trying to say before I hit the record button. What's the product? What problem does it solve? I usually start with that. Who's it for? What did I notice about the product? What should someone know before buying this product? That's enough to keep me on track without making me sound like a hostage reading a product description. And let me say this clearly. Don't spend hours editing one Amazon product video. That's where beginners can waste a ridiculous amount of time. You're costing yourself money. You want the video to be clear. You want it to be useful. You want it to follow the rules. But you don't need to turn every spatula review into a feature film. Make the video. Make the next one a little bit better. Keep going. You'll improve simply by doing it. Not by turning each upload into a 3-act drama with color grading or whatever. This is one of those places where I had to remind myself what the job actually is. The job for Amazon shoppable videos is not to look impressive. The job is to help a shopper decide whether this is for them, and that's different. Now let's talk money, because that's what everybody wants to know. I've averaged around $1,000 a month with Amazon Influencer. That's meaningful side income. I'm glad I started. I would start it again in a heartbeat. But in April, Amazon made those changes and my commission dropped by about $500. That will get your attention. No one likes having an income cut. No one wants to do the same work and make less money. No one wants to wake up and realize the platform shifted under their feet. But that's part of building on someone else's platform. Amazon works for Amazon. Amazon works for its shareholders. Amazon does not wake up every morning asking how to protect Valerie's commission report. That would be nice, but it's not reality. Not at all. So, when a platform changes, you have two choices. One, you can panic. Two, you can adjust. I don't like the income cut. I have recovered in May. I did start to recover, and it's coming back up. But I also don't think that the cut means things are worthless. I think we just need backups. It means we need a better strategy. It means I need to build more than one lane. And that's why I'm paying more attention to offsite now. I'm paying more attention to Pinterest, to Benable, to blog content, to YouTube, to my own audience. Those are longer games. You're not going to get, make $1,000 a month right away that way. They don't usually pay as fast as on-site can. But they give me more ways to build traffic, trust, and income. And after the April drop, I'm more convinced than ever that Amazon Influencer can be a good lane. But it shouldn't be the only lane forever. I still like Amazon Influencer. It's still the simplest way to make money online. I'm still adding to my storefront. I'm still working on it. I'm still making videos. But I'm not going to pretend one platform should carry the whole grocery bag. That's how the eggs end up on the floor. Now, one thing I'd do sooner if I were starting again is use better tools. Like I said, I personally use Viral Vue, and I'll put the link in the description. If you decide to try it and use my link, you can get 10% off of your subscription. Viral Vue helps me keep track of samples. It helps me see product opportunities. It helps me with creator connections. It helps me streamline my workflow so I'm not trying to run this whole thing out of my camera roll, my inbox, and a prayer. And we're absolutely going to talk more about it in a future video or future videos because it really does a lot. It helps with Pinterest and YouTube and all the things. But tools don't do the work for you. But good tools can keep you from wasting time on the wrong work. And that's where I'm becoming a lot less patient. I'm not interested in doing unnecessary work just to feel busy. Busy does not impress me. Paid is better. Useful is better. Strategic is better. And that's what I'd tell myself if I were starting over. Start with volume. Yes, absolutely. Hit it hard. Just don't be random. Use what you already own first. That's the easiest, best place to start. Film simple horizontal videos. Don't over edit. Use your bullet points to keep you on track while you're talking. Pay attention to your product selection when you start to get samples and things like that. Prioritize your problem solvers. Learn the rules of Amazon. There are millions of them, it seems. Disclose brand samples. Use tools sooner. Build systems before the samples take over your life. And don't make Amazon your entire plan forever. But you can certainly start there. And that's the real lesson of nearly 1,100 videos. Not Amazon Influencer is perfect. It isn't. Not Amazon Influencer is easy money. It isn't. You work hard for it. Not as hard as some things, but you work for it. Not Amazon Influencer is dead. It isn't. The lesson is that it works, but you need to work it smarter as you grow. In the beginning, action teaches you. At some point, strategy has to catch up. And that's where I am now. The first stage proved it could work. The next stage is about making it more intentional. Better products, better systems, better tools, more off-site, less random effort. Because random effort will wear you out. Ask me how I know. And I have no interest in being exhausted and inefficient at the same time. Pick a struggle. So would I still do Amazon Influencer after nearly 1,100 videos? Yes, absolutely. But I wouldn't do it casually. I wouldn't assume more videos automatically solves everything. I wouldn't ignore product selection. I wouldn't spend too much time editing. I wouldn't underestimate the boring computer work. I wouldn't depend on one platform forever. And I wouldn't wait until I felt completely ready. I'd start, but I'd start smarter. So if you're interested in Amazon Influencer, apply and get ready. Start paying attention to products you already own. Start practicing clear product videos. Start learning the rules. Start building a social account if you need one. And subscribe, because I'm going to be talking a lot more about Amazon Influencer, Amazon Associates, Viral Vue, product selection, offsite commissions, Pinterest, Benable, and how all of this fits into a more realistic online income system. Not the fairy tale version, the real version. And if you want to check out Viral Vue, the link is in the description, and you can get 10% off of your subscription if you try it through my link. In the comments, tell me this. Are you already in the Amazon Influencer program trying to get approved, or still figuring out whether it's worth your time? I want to know where you're starting from so I can make the next videos more useful for you. You're not done yet, so don't start acting like you are.